10 warm weather fragrances for the spring or either the summertime, whether you're talking about fruity plum notes or you're talking about leafy green notes, woody notes, or everything in between. Let's get it. Hello guys, welcome back. I'm Max. Today I'm going to give you 10 fragrances that would turn heads in the springtime and the summertime. In other words, hot weather fragrances. Now the first one on this list is Scusami. Now a lot of people want to know what's a great plum fragrance, but this is the one. And believe it or not, I worn this probably 8 to 10 times, and I only received the compliment on it one time, and that was last week. Also, when I purchased this fragrance, the sales attendant said this was one of her favorite fragrances from all the niche line that was in there. So this very juicy plum note and heliotrope is the first thing you get when you spray this. You get some more florals of that lily of the valley. Then in the heart, you get some musk, you get a spicy amber. In the end, I'm picking up like a very, very light patchouli that keeping it from going overly feminine. Now this is a unisex fragrance that's floral, fruity, and sweet. Originally when I bought this, it seemed like it was performing maybe 4 hours, but last week I did get it around the 8-hour mark. And the first 4 hours gonna be projected real good. You're gonna fill up a room, but after that, it's gonna become closer to the skin. But a very nice fragrance if you're looking for a plum fragrance for the spring, the summertime, the hot weather, that's guaranteed to turn head, and that's Scusami. The next one on the list, when I think about this fragrance, I think about nothing but a nice springtime hot weather. And we're talking about from the house of Xerjoff, and that is Decas. Now, first thing you get when you spray this, you're gonna get a nice juicy mandarin orange note, followed by some tobacco leaves. Now, when it reaches the heart, you get a heavy dose of that benzoin, almost turning it almost like chocolate, but it's still fruity up top. Bourbon vanilla comes in the base, adding a little booziness to it. You get a nice, rich, creamy vanilla, and you're getting that Tulip Blossom, that adding a rich warmness to it. Now this is spicy, woody, smoky, and fruity, but a very nice warm weather fragrance that I think you will enjoy, and that's Decas from the house of Xerjoff. Now coming up next, this guy at work always asks me to suggest him a great cedarwood fragrance, and I always suggest this one because in my opinion, this is one of the best cedarwood fragrances out there. And it don't cost much, it's very cheap, and it's coming from the house of Rasana, and that's Rasana. A nice crisp lemon note comes up, a crisp apple note follows that, and then the main player once it reaches the heart is that cedarwood. Amber provides some spice. Now this is woody, citrusy, fruity with a light touch of spice that's following behind it, and that's Rasana from the house of Rasana. The next one up, if you're looking for a perfectly green leaf fragrance that smells just like leaves, smells just like the springtime, and this is the one you want to check out. And it's very cheap also, and that's Vintage Green from the house of Banana Republic. Now spraying this is a note that's not listed, but I do pick up a heavy dose of it, and that's a lime note. It say bergamot, but all I'm getting is a very nice, clean, crisp lime note. That's followed along with some green leaves. You get a nice juicy orange note. You get a nice semi-earthy vetiver note. And then when it dries down, it becomes a little musky. This is woody, citrusy, green, and spicy. One I love to pull out around this time of the year. Coming up next is one of those fragrances that's very underrated from the house itself. And I think the house itself is underrated. And the fragrance I'm talking about is coming from the house of Oud, and that's Live in Colors. I love the presentation on these. I mean, the colors is gorgeous. Straight out the rip, you're gonna get this nice berry note. It's a mix of maybe some blueberries, some strawberries, and sort of like a berry that's not even fruity. It's just sort of like earthy green. Playing along, you get a light touch of grapefruit that making it very citrusy up top. Citrusy and fruity up top. Also, you get like this grassy root note that's not listed. In the final stages, it's green, fruity, and citrusy. And that's Live in Color from the house of Oud. Now this next fragrance kind of put me in the mind of just drinking like a blueberry lemonade. It's real refreshing. And the one I'm talking about is coming from the house of Montel, and that is Blue Matcha, a perfect summer scent. Now for those who out there are looking for a nice tea-based fragrance, this is the one to check out. The opening start off with tea, and a nice dose of black currant. Now the black currant I think was kind of giving it like a blueberry note. When it dries down some, you get a light touch of leather. I mean, it's very light. You get some woody notes from cedar wood, and you get that Mate Absolute that making it herbal and green. Now this is citrusy, leather, spicy, and woody. And that's Blue Matcha from the House of Montel. The next one up is from a Middle Eastern company that's really not known, but some of their fragrances is very popping. Now this is a very cheap fragrance. I think I paid maybe $35 for it, but it smells like it costs 2 or 3 times more than that. And the one I'm talking about is Louis Martin Imperial Blue. A nice sweet juicy orange, a nice clean crisp lemon starts it off, and somewhere down the line I'm picking up like some fresh pink strawberries. Musk, amber, and vanilla comes up in the base, making it fruity, citrusy, woody, and spicy. And that's Blue Imperial. I'm telling you guys, check it out. Very cheap, smell very good, especially for the summertime. The next one up is coming from the House of Collage, and I know you might have heard of this one and you know what it's cloning, but it is a nice fragrance, and that is Blu Spice from the House of Collage. Now when I first got this, I really floored. I wore it probably 4 times straight. That's just how good it is, and it's very cheap. I like it because it's very unique. Now starting this off, a fresh green leafy tea note that's almost bitter in my opinion. Now the heart consists of some light spices consisting of cinnamon and ginger, nothing overpowering. Guaiac wood comes up in the base that's making a warm, smoky, woody note. And the final stages is fresh, citrusy, woody, and spicy. And that's Blu Spice. Before we get to the final 2, if you appreciate this list or if it's something that you enjoyed about this fragrance review, please go ahead and consider subscribing. I really would appreciate that. Now back to the final 2. Now the next one on this list, I think it's kind of considered that high-end line, but you can actually find these on Joma Shop for around $70, $80, but the regular price run you close to $300. But I'm telling you, bargain bins. You look at any reviews I've done on these, and people really appreciate these fragrances from this line. But the one we're talking about for the spring and summertime, from the House of Salvatore Ferragamo, and let me make sure I pronounce it right, from the House of Salvatore Ferragamo, that's Pur Si Muove. To me, this is sort of like a floral aquatic, but they really don't list those notes in here that make it a floral aquatic. But the first thing I'm getting is a nice, clean, crisp magnolia note, making it floral, and it's not listed. You get a nice pink, soft rose in the heart, and the base, the sweetness is coming from outer highs that's making it sweet, almost soapy. Now this is one of those perfect unisex fragrances that's gonna give you good performance, and it's floral, fresh, and aquatic. I'm telling you guys, this line is a hidden gem, and this is one of them from the House of Salvatore Ferragamo. Now the last one on this list is really a great fragrance, but the performance to me, I only get like 5 to 6 hours on it, but still, you're talking about uniqueness for this time of the year, and it's coming from the House of Valentino, and that is Aqua. Now the first thing you're gonna get is that citron. Now the difference between citron and lemon, citron is not bitter, it's not sour, it's soft, it's clean, but it still gives you that citrus note of a lemon. Then next up is that like tomato leaf, giving it some greenness. You get a nice clean orange coming up next that's semi-powdery, and when it dries down you get this nice clean musk behind it. Now this is citrusy, it's fresh, and it's leafy. Tomorrow is my 55th birthday, and guess what? Only thing I want from you is just to subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice weekend. Come back and see me. Stay safe. Peace.